Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if it's your first time joining me here. If it is, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Today's video I'm going to be sharing 10 things that I've stopped buying in order to speed up my savings process, and this is appropriate for anyone, whether you're saving to buy a house, whether you're saving to buy a handbag, whether you're saving to go on holiday, or literally anything else. These tips have really helped me in our first couple of months of saving. I really like to document things that have worked for us, and so I thought that I would share this advice onto you if you are also saving money. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Before I do go on to the first point, I just wanted to say that if anyone is wondering how I did my hair, these are overnight curls and I showed you exactly how I got them in my last video, and so I'll leave that linked above and down below for you in case you are curious on how I got these curls without using any heat. The first thing that I've stopped buying in an attempt to save money is new makeup. So at the beginning of August I did a declutter series here on my channel, comprising of 8 videos where I showed you my makeup collection, showed you my favourite products, and also got rid of a load of products too, and I also did a giveaway there as well, and the winners have been contacted and they've received their prizes, which is amazing to hear. But with someone that has basically been in the blogging and YouTube kind of realm for a little while, it has meant that I have accumulated a lot of makeup, and too much makeup for one person, and that's completely honest. I have probably about 8 foundations, and you know, I have a lot of every type of product. So for me, I've not had to buy any new makeup, not only things that I need, but I haven't wanted to buy anything either. I think because I've changed my mindset when I've seen a new product release, or I've seen specific makeup products go on sale that normally would be a bit of a weakness to me, I've managed to completely avoid, because I've just had a bit of a kick up the butt to realise, look at my collection at the moment. Even if you have a very minimal makeup collection, genuinely in the last couple of years I have been so involved in kind of the beauty world. I have realised that drugstore makeup can do as much of a good job as high-end. The only exception for me, that is the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation. That will always be part of my makeup routine, but I also have so many other foundations that I love, so I always believe that there is a dupe for every single high-end makeup product. And so for me, I've just totally stopped buying makeup, and a step that's really helped me avoid temptation has been unsubscribing from newsletters that I used to get all the time, unsubscribing to specific beauty YouTubers that used to influence my buying decisions, and just not looking at makeup all the time on my phone. By browsing different makeup websites just out of curiosity, I found a lot of my adverts were obviously to do with those, because that's how Google ads work. However, by not browsing makeup and not being tempted to just look at it, I'm not then being reminded of a product that I might have looked at. So yeah, I've totally stopped buying makeup and I have not missed it at all. Another point that I thought I'd just add into the first point as well is that I have stopped getting any frequent beauty treatments. The only exclusion to this is my hair. I've not had my hair done since January, and you can probably tell by the amount of root I have at the moment, but I am hoping to get my hair done in the next couple of months. I no longer get my nails frequently done, which is something I always used to do. I used to get eyelash extensions, and eyelash extensions alone I think were like £70 to get them done, and then like £45 of infill. And with eyelashes, you really couldn't stretch them out to like every month. As soon as they started falling out and looking a bit weird, you'd have to get them refilled, and so that was a huge expense for something that if I really want to have eyelashes on daily, I could wear fake lashes. And again, someone with my collection, I've got enough to probably see me through until the end of the year. But by getting rid of those beauty treatments that I used to get all the time is a very, very quick way of me saving that money and putting it into my savings account. Now the next point is a really hard one probably for me to get used to, and this is definitely more hard than makeup, but I've stopped buying candles. I know that that sounds really, really random, but I used to be someone that used to almost collect candles. I used to have a Yankee Candle collection that would see me through probably from Christmas until the rest of the year, and typically I'm someone that gets gifted quite a lot of candles come my birthday and Christmas, because I am such a candle-aholic, I suppose. I really, really am obsessed with candles, and I love the fact that they make your house smell so, so good. But candles, and especially the candles I used to buy, the Yankee candles, the Woodwick candles, and brands like that do not come cheap. And so if ever I've needed a candle, which I've actually not since I've started saving, but Home Bargains, you can get them like big ones for really cheap. And so I've just got out of the mindset of needing a lot of candles. I still have some left over from before I started saving, and so I'm using those. But as a alternative from candles, I actually make my own wax melts, and I find that they smell really good, and I love the way that they make my home smell, and they're so much cheaper because I'm making them myself. I'm not paying the profit on top of someone else making them. Obviously they're not as good as Yankee ones, and some work better than others, but generally I find that as and when I need to replenish my collection of things to make my house smell good, making my own wax melts is a really easy way of minimizing the spend that I used to spend on candles, because I used to be so obsessed, and I really enjoy the process, and it's kind of like a hobby as well. So that's been really fun developing that. I kind of learned how to do it whilst we was in lockdown and we spent all this time at home, and I've just continued it because I really enjoyed it. And you could literally get big bags of wax for really cheap off Amazon, off eBay and places like that, and a batch makes so many that I think I made my last batch genuinely end of July, and I still have lots to use. I don't need to make any more at the moment. Obviously you need to get like the specific core products in order to actually start making wax melts, which initially could be a bit of a cost. Rich actually got me those for Mother's Day from Heidi, and I know that he spent about £30 to £40, but in the long run I'm able to save so much. But yeah, I have stopped buying candles, and as much as I miss them, they've definitely helped my savings account grow. So the next point is eating out at restaurants, and this is something that I used to do probably every month. Obviously again, because of coronavirus earlier on in the year, restaurants were closed and you couldn't go out as you normally would, but during that time I think I realized how much I didn't miss it. This isn't to say that if my friend said, should we go out for dinner and cocktails instead of a night out, I would definitely still go because I'd budget for it. But Rich and I have stopped going to restaurants really altogether. We realised during lockdown that we much prefer getting a takeaway at home and having it in the comfort of our own home, sitting under a blanket on the sofa, and it's just something that we much prefer. But again, our takeaways have really reduced since we've started budgeting, and again that's something that I spoke much more in my starting to save video, so I'll leave that linked above and down below if you want to check that out. But we would find eating out at restaurants, it's not just the food that you order, it's also the cocktails, and if you buy something new to wear, and it's all of these added costs surrounding probably a couple of hours out. But we just much prefer to have a takeaway, and it's just something that we've not really missed and we've not done since the restaurants have reopened, because we've just not really kind of had the desire for it, and we would much rather put that money into something else, such as our savings account or getting a takeaway and then moving the rest of the money over. Now the next thing that I have stopped purchasing since we started saving, and this is actually probably one of the hardest ones, is takeaway coffee. Rich and I used to go to Costa at one point once a week. I know that when we first had Heidi, it was at least once a week. When Rich would finish work for the week, he would bring us home a takeaway Costa, and I do love Costa coffee. I think that their drinks are amazing, but that said, if every time he's bringing home 2 takeaway drinks and it's costing £6 to £7, that's a lot of money that adds up every single week. And again, that's probably about £30 a month that we're able to save by not buying takeaway coffee. And when you start having a food budget, which is something that we've done and again I've spoken about, when you realise how little you can spend on food when you really put your mind to it, a £30 a month for takeaway Costa for like 4 drinks for the 2 of us could be almost an entire week shop for the 2 of us plus Heidi too. And so we just have become so much more frugal in our thinking habits. Just taking that out of our mindset of having that as a reward every week just means that we save that additional money, and we're starting to see that all of these little spends that we may have never really noticed before are all beginning to add up. The next thing that I have stopped buying altogether for myself is clothes for the sake of it. I have an entire wardrobe full of clothes that I probably haven't worn half of them in a really long time, and I have a habit of if I'm browsing again through ASOS just out of like boredom, I'll see something and get obsessed with it and think, right, I really need that, that's what I'm missing from my collection. But actually, if I did something similar to what I've done with my makeup collection, where essentially you shop your stash and you're able to look into your wardrobe, refigure outfits that you might not have thought went together, you'll suddenly see that you have all these different outfit combinations that you might have never worn before, but you can make out of clothes you already have. When I used to get deals in my inbox from ASOS, 20% off, Boohoo, Misguided, things like that coming into my email inbox, I was always tempted because I would always think it's a really good deal and I'm saving money in the long run. But it's definitely not the case, because if you're buying something you don't need, for example, if my favourite skinny jeans were to wear and to break, then I would find money in my budget to replace them because they're a staple in my collection. But I don't need to buy a second pair of mum jeans, or I don't need to buy like a 11th play suit. I've got plenty, and only when things break or deteriorate will I find the need to repurchase. But even those, unless it was, like I said, a pair of jeans, I have alternatives already in my wardrobe that I can use and make use of. I also find going into town and having the mindset of I'm not going to try anything on. I won't ever buy clothes from shops without trying them on, because where I live to where like a shopping town is, it's a little while away, and so it's a huge effort for me to pick something up, bring it home, try it on. If it's no good, then take it back. And so if I don't try anything on in shops, then I just won't be tempted to pick it up, and that means that I go straight to the baby section, which is going to bring me on to my next point. But it just means that I've got this mindset of I don't need anything and I'm not even going to look. So as I mentioned, the next point is to do with baby clothes, and we have a little girl. She is now 20 months old. Oh my goodness. So yeah, she's gonna be 2 in December. I always work from the mindset of mum, so I'm sorry if that annoys you. It's just a mum thing that they really like get into your head very early on, and it's very hard to get out of that. But she is growing and she gets through clothes really quickly, and because we haven't had another child, we don't have a collection of clothes like we will for the next one, because we're keeping all of her clothes. So that said, I do have to buy Heidi clothes, not like me where I can just get away with not buying myself anything. She does need new staples, new outfits, and generally needs an updated wardrobe for her next age range. So this is a great example. When I went to Primark, I did a Primark haul on this channel and I showed you a lot of the clothes I picked up for her. It was very influenced by clothes that she needed and basics that we hadn't yet got for either her current age or the age above. So with that said, I don't buy expensive clothes for her, but day to day she wears Primark clothing and H&M clothing, and generally that's where I get all of her wardrobe from. This means that she can be a child in the way that she can get messy, she can play, she can tumble, and if anything gets spoiled, I know I've not spent a lot of money on an outfit that's now ruined. I also believe that Primark and H&M quality are really good for children's clothes, and there's so many options, and I genuinely feel like the things I picked up from Primark in that haul were very comparable to things that you might find in Zara. So with that said, when I pick up any single outfit, I'll always pick it up and think, is this versatile? Now that she's in clothes whereby she wears them for a 6-month period, so she's almost 2, so she'll be 2 to 3, so they last a year, whereas at the moment she'd been in 18 to 24 month clothing, and so that goes from the summer to the winter really, with her birthday being December. And so I always pick clothes up and I say, is this versatile, and will she be able to wear it both summer and winter? And a lot of things that you buy on and off, probably not. That's why a lot of the clothes that I really like buying her are dungarees, dungarees dresses, dungarees shorts, because in the summer you can wear them with just like a little t-shirt underneath and then the dungarees dress, and she's nice and cool for the summer. But then come the winter time, she can have the same dress on with either a long sleeve top or vest underneath, depending on how cold it is. If it's really cold, she can actually have a really lightweight jumper and then also some tights, so you can get thin tights and you can get thicker tights depending on the season. And I just find that that helps the core outfit go from the summer to the winter, and it means you get so much more wear out of things. And if you get into the habit of picking things up and thinking how much wear is she going to get out of it, then it's definitely going to make such a difference to how much you spend and also how much use you can get out of one product. Now the next thing again is kind of a bit of a black hole in my spending beforehand, and it was cleaning supplies. And I used to buy so many cleaning supplies, and I had, obviously if you follow Mrs. Hinch you know that she has an influx of cleaning products, but again it got to a point where I was like, our family unit does not need this much, and we used to spend a lot of money on just the sprays that you would use on your kitchen, your bathroom, those kind of all-purpose sprays that you could pick up anywhere. But I basically now make my own. I'm sure that all of you kind of know this trick of using some Zoflora as well as water, shaking that in a bottle and using that as a DIY all-purpose spray. Because an all-purpose spray is typically the product we run out of first, just by filling that back up with Zoflora and water mix, it just means that I'm replenishing my collection with all of the things that I already have. And yeah, I'm just not having to spend as much on cleaning things. A lot of what we've got I'm making last a lot longer, and typically I'm avoiding B&M as much as possible, because that just used to be a shop that I went into, would spend 30-40 pounds, come home and think, what of this did I actually need? And when you're starting to save, picking things up and thinking, do I need this, makes such a difference. So definitely get savvy with your cleaning supplies and look at your collection and think, do I really need all of this? Have I just been influenced by people like Mrs. Hinch to buy things that I wouldn't ordinarily buy? I know I certainly have, and so I've just really scaled back our collection and just seen what things I genuinely need on an everyday basis, and just use little cleaning hacks to maximise what I have to go further. Now, the next thing that I've stopped buying regularly is Lush orders. Again, I used to be such a Lushaholic, I suppose, and I used to do Lush orders all the time. I used to just go online and just replenish my bath bomb collection, buy their bubble bars, and I still love Lush products. That love has not gone away, but my love of spending the amount I used to spend definitely has, when I know how much it impacts the amount I'm able to save. This was even tested further when I realised Lush had a subscription service that, my goodness, every single month I'm so tempted to sign up for, but I haven't, because I know that the subscription service per month works out about £38, and that is a lot for a product that I definitely don't need, and that again is like a week's shop for us. And so I'm just really trying to, like, again, avoid temptation. If I'm following people that are talking about it, unfortunately I unfollow them, because chances are they spark that in my head that's like, oh yeah, I really wanted that. So going back to the regular Lush orders, I used to spend anywhere between £20 to £30 probably per month, if not every other month, to buy a load of Lush products. And I, like I said, still love their products so much, but when you realise that you're spending about £5 on a bath bomb that you're using in a bath that you're probably in maximum for an hour, I'm not even in there that long now that I have a child, that is a lot of money. That's why typically I really like their bubble bars, because you got a lot more value for money and you could make one of the big comforters last a really long time. But it's still a lot to spend on bath products, where you could buy a thing of bubble bath for like less than £1. And the one I always talk about in my empty series are always the Lidl's ones, because you can buy them so cheap everywhere. But yeah, I just have really realised how much my Lush orders actually cost per bath, and I was kind of horrified, because I don't really think about it once I've got the order. I get really excited, I order new bath products, I think, oh, that's new, I'll try that. And I don't really think about the £30 that I would spend before, because I would just see it as Lush things. But now when I think about it, £30 is a lot of money. There's technically nothing to show for it either. Again, when I was speaking about clothing, and if my jeans were to rip and I needed a new pair, £30 on a new pair of jeans makes sense, because you then have something physical to show for it. But a bath, although it really helps me relax, and I feel like at this point it's like my hobby, just spending the Lush amount of money all the time was ridiculous. That said, I'm not going to completely stop ordering from Lush, because I love their products so much, but I'll probably stretch it out every probably 4 months, 5 months, and actually right now I've kind of not missed having them, because I just think about making an order and I just know how expensive they typically are, and so it kind of puts me off, which is great because it really helps my savings. And finding alternatives like just using bubble bath and a really heavily scented bubble bath really has helped fill that void. So the next one really isn't that big. Not everyone might do this, but Rich and I were always guilty of buying cans of drinks, so like cans of Pepsi, and we would always buy the big crates of 24 Pepsi Max cans from Tesco, and we would do it probably every other week. a whole box of those for 24 would last us about 2 weeks, and then we would buy them again. And when we look back at our spending before we created the budget that we're now working on, we realised we literally spent about £20 a month on Pepsi cans, and that's a lot of money to be spending on drinks that we're just having at home, and we just drank them out of a habit. We never really realised how much we used to spend on drinks as part of our food shop, and it's crazy when you think how much food and essential shopping you could do for that. So as part of being accountable for everything that you buy, it really helps you find trends in your spending like that. And so whilst we still really enjoy having Coke at home, we've made that change from Pepsi Max cans, which would cost at the lowest £6.50 whenever they were on offer in Tesco, and they weren't always, so they could be anywhere between £6.50 to about £8 for this big crate. We've made the change now to Lidl's Coke. They do their own version that's like XL Coke, and it's basically duping Pepsi Max. We bought a bottle of that on a bit of a whim because we wanted to try it out, and obviously it was about 30 pence as opposed to £6.50 for a really big crate. And we tried it and we couldn't tell a difference between the taste, I kid you not. And Rich is someone that is very, very particular about brands, or at least used to be, and he used to believe that he could taste the difference between Heinz ketchup and Tesco ketchup, for example. But he genuinely said that the Lidl's Coke version of Pepsi Max was just as nice. So now every other week, instead of spending that huge amount on a crate of drinks, we're instead buying a 6-pack of the bottles from Lidl's, and that comes to £2.80. So whilst it's not something we've completely got rid of, we've found an alternative that means we don't have to give up the thing that we were having before, but we're saving at least 2/3 of the money, which is a huge difference, especially as we've not given anything up. We've just changed the format of which we drink it, and yeah, we actually prefer it, and you get so much more Coke for your money buying the bottles. And it's definitely something I'd recommend if you are kind of habitually buying these branded Coke bottles or cans from Tesco, for example, then I would really recommend trying the Lidl's alternative, or at least the own brand alternative, because we genuinely cannot taste a difference. And yeah, it's helped us save extra per month, and like I've said consistently through this video, it's those little things that you save that genuinely make such a big difference. And yeah, it's actually crazy how much we've been able to save just by giving up branded Coke cans. And the last thing I'm going to touch on, and my 10th thing that I've given up whilst trying to save money, is small purchases. And this probably sounds really weird, but I used to always be one of those people that would buy a new phone case on eBay, or I would be scrolling through Mrs. Hinch's Instagram stories and she'd share like a cleaning hack thing from eBay that's really cheap and things like that. It's just those like really little purchases that I would see and think, oh, that's life-changing, I'll buy it. And it would only be like £3, £5, £7. These really, really miniature spends that you probably never really thought about before. By not doing that ever, I actually have money left over at the end of every month, because I'm not just seeing the fact that I have money in my account and buying these things that I definitely don't need. And so it's definitely something that I would recommend not doing anymore, is not spending money on little knick-knack things. And I'm saying knick-knack things because they're things that are very low in quality, they're very low in price, and don't last ever. The amount of like phone cases, for example, I've gone through, because I've only ever spent like £1, £2 on a phone case, where really that money would have been better spent just buying a durable, proper phone case, and it would have lasted. And so it's things like that that I've just stopped purchasing and stopped being tempted by. I'm not looking on the Amazon Prime deals, because you'd see things on there that you think, oh wow, that would be really cool, or oh, I really like that perfume and it's discounted, I might pick one up. Things like that that you think, if I walked into a shop and it was just there, would I pick it up? No, because I don't need it. And again, that's kind of the instinct that I'm having now. Instead of thinking, oh, that's cool, I'll try it, instead I'm thinking, do I need it? No. Am I going to buy it? No. And just stopping those little tiny minute things, again, makes such a big difference. And it really is the trend of this video, is that by cutting these really small things that before you'd never really notice, you'd never really think, oh, you know, £25 getting my nails done every month, oh, that's a treat, and things like that. But actually £25 here, £10 there, £30 there, you're suddenly able to save hundreds of pounds without having to give up too much. And yeah, so I thought I would just share these initial things that have really helped me in my savings process, and I'm really excited that hopefully we're a month closer to buying our first property. All of these kind of savings videos are going to be added to my buying a house playlist, because I'm hoping that these changes lead to us getting the keys to our first property. Both Rich and I have just totally changed our mindset and have this goal that we are really working towards, and so yeah, we're really excited. And so if you're on this journey, let me know down below if you have any tips and tricks that really helped you save more money. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure that it would be really beneficial for anyone visiting this video that is looking to save some extra money and making some small lifestyle changes to make a big difference. Give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you enjoy this style of content. I also do hair care, beauty and lifestyle videos, and it would be really good to see you on my next one, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye.